Now, after I've stumbled past that tongue twister there, it's time to talk about a recent buzz. It has been quite a bit of a buzz regarding the National Film and Video Censors Board, which is NFVCB.
There you go.
And it stands on the portrayal of smoking and ritual scenes in Nollywood movies and music videos. Now, clarifying the rumors, okay, the executive director of the board, and that's Shaibu Husseini, he emphasized that the new regulations do not outright ban these scenes, but prohibit their promotion and glamorization.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because Kanayo might have been out of a job, but thank goodness. These regulations align with global best practices, by the way, and seek to ensure that necessary smoking scenes include health warnings to educate viewers rather than promote harmful habits. Joining us to discuss these developments, of course, we have in the studio here with us movie director and also producer James Omokwe, and we're also going to be joined by Dr. Shaibu Husseini, executive director and CEO, National Film and Video Censors Board. Of course, there he is. Gentlemen, you are welcome on the show today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good to have you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Do we want to start with the doctor?
Yes, please. Doctor, many thanks for coming on. And we'd like to start with you. To start, can you clarify the main objective of the NFVCB's regulations 2024 concerning smoking and ritual scenes in Nollywood movies? Let's just clarify their stands on these.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's so nice to see my brother, James, your live studios. The regulation actually is to protect young people, and I'm happy that before now you had a discussion with a medical doctor to celebrate Nigeria, the International Children's Day, which incidentally is tomorrow. Is to protect our young people, is to ensure that our filmmakers are responsible, especially when it comes to the depiction of some of these maybe they promote glamorization of smoking. Tobacco actually is not even directly smoking. Tobacco and promotion and glamorization of tobacco, money ritual in our films. So we met and we engaged some stakeholders and we told them that there's a new regulation now that prohibits the promotion and glamorization of these vices, so to speak. But by the time I came back to Lagos after the initial stakeholders engagement in Enugu, all I started seeing was that we were banning smoking scenes in film. The intention is not to ban smoking scenes in film because there are some necessary smoking things that you need in the narrative that has to be in the narrative. I'm an actor, I'm a performing artist, and I know that I have even taken part in productions where I had to smoke. But what we are saying now is that if you have those kind of necessary things, you must give a warning. You must place a warning as required by the Federal Ministry of Health, saying that this smoking, is injurious to health, or it had a health risk if you smoke, or if you smoke, it is liable to lead you to die young. The other part is the issue of ritual killing. You know, you can do, in our society, Africa as a whole, we have some things that we do, like traditional practice, that require that we do some rituals and all that. But here is what we are saying. If you are going to do a ritual scene for historical accuracy, you are going to do that for educational purpose and to correct a negative lifestyle, we don't have a problem with it. But you must warn. You must put a warning before the film why that scene is on, to let them know that the actors and whoever that is involved in that this is just make-believe, that there is no truth in it. And the reason we think that you have to warn, and the reason the regulation is saying is because we mirror society, we mirror life, but children copy, young people copy what they see on screen. It is what they see on screen. That's why it is giving them the impression that it is so easy to make money, and the only way you can make money is to get into a cult, get somebody, cut off the person's head, and then dollars will start coming out from the person's head.
All right, Dr. Shaibu.
They see all this from the screen.
All right, Dr. Shaibu, I want to focus now on our director who we have in the studio here with us, Sir James Omokwe. By the way, congratulations on your AMVCA for Itura.
Thank you very much.
Which is a very traditionalist type movie in itself. And in Nigerian tradition, you cannot separate tradition from real life. in this tradition we're talking about, that's where the talk of ritual killings come in. So what were your first thoughts when you heard about this ban, especially as it pertains to filmmakers and skit makers as well?
Fortunately, I and Dr. Shaibu are both in a group. When this conversation came out, there was clarity on, you know, the reason why this regulation needs to happen. I also, you know, want to say that I'm a dad, so and I watch a lot of content, and I watch a lot of content with my son, and sometimes I'm very careful about the kinds of things that he consumes, and why I think that this is very important. And by the way, I'm 100% in support of it, because like he said, a lot of people are impressionable. There's news, and I don't know, I don't have it 100%, but there was a school shooting in America, and the guy who, you know, did the shooting, he was influenced by Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty is a video game about the military going in to, you know, kill people. And I think that it's, if you look at it from the angle of being you know, young people being impressioned by these scenes, it's important that those labels are put there to say, this is very important. This is not a real depiction of how things are done. Because again, you finish watching a movie, we all watched Scarface. Everybody came out after watching Scarface and we're like, say hello to my little friends. I mean, we did it, do you understand?
Yeah.
And we all thought it was cool. And, you know, we watch a lot of stuff and we all think that it's cool. But if those warnings aren't being put there, then that's a problem. Last thing I'll say is we did a show recently, and the first episode of that show is on Showmax. Now, Showmax is a streaming service. I mean, there necessarily aren't ratings for those films. However, I did have to put at the beginning, there's a very intense sexual scene in the beginning of that show. I had to put it there. This episode contains scenes of, you know, intense sexual, whatever, viewers, whatever is advised.
Okay.
Now, I mean, yeah, what's my own?
But are those warnings enough?
So, I mean, we have to do our own part. It's like smoking. Like, you know, they put, smokers are liable to die young. I'm telling you that what I'm selling to you is dangerous. It could kill you. You have a choice to either do it or not. So it's the onus is up to you. So for us, we have to let people know that, look, if there's a ritual scene here or there's a smoking scene here, I mean, we don't advise for these things to happen, but we're only depicting fiction, right? And so when you're going in to watch that film, I don't want you to come out of the film thinking that, you know, it's cool to smoke like, you know, 5 packs of cigarettes. It's bad for your health, because the films don't tell you that. I mean, the guy who's smoking and feeling, you know, like the Godfather, he's not going to tell you that, oh, I died of cancer like 10 years after. I mean, he won't say that. So it's important for us to have those labels in those films to say the regulation is great, I support it, it's cool.
Well, I guess we'll have to ask you on that one then.
Yeah, I think that, you know, and again, even before this interview, we had a phone conversation yesterday, and I would say something that he said very profound. He's not here to censor creativity. So he's not banning. So there's no conversation whatsoever that states that, oh, we're removing these scenes from films. And what he means by glamorization, and it's really not more for filmmakers, but it's for skit makers. And I'll give an example. I can't call names, but nowadays you see musical artists or skit makers or whatnot smoking, they're doing videos, you know, they're smoking, and maybe they're trying to portray a certain lifestyle, right? And because, yeah, it's what the young people are doing now. So, hey, let's pick up a cigar, let's pick up some
Because they're influencers.
Thank you, because they're influencers. And I think that because you're influencing, you're not really, people will look at you and want to be like you. So they want to pick that cigarette up and then, you know, put it in their mouth and do whatever it is that they want to do. And so what he's saying, or what, you know, the Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board is saying is, there has to be some regulation as to when you're doing. So if you need to do that, please let the people who you're influencing know that smoking is bad. So if you're going to do a skit that glamorizes, you know, rituals, and yes, you're just doing a skit for purpose. I mean, there's a guy who does a skit. He's like a ritual doctor, and he always has conversations with people.
Yeah, I think I know that guy.
Yeah. At the beginning of the skit, please let people know that ritual killings is not the way to make money, X, Y, Z, because, again, people are impressionable.
I have to make us round up here because we're out of time, but I got what you're saying, especially that warning has to precede whatever it is you're putting out there, but it is not that you're banning or withholding or stopping an expression of art in any form.